My doctor says I gotta lose a little bit of weight, so I thought, perfect. So
Just change doctors.
Get the one that
Dr. Dave. I just go with Dr. Dave.
Everything's a go. Everything's a go.
I can't see.
What's up, everybody? We're the
Blind
Blind
Guys.
Guys. With 2020 finally coming to an end, but unfortunately with gyms still being closed due to COVID, but everybody's trying to get that New Year's resolution bod, so we decided to test 4 different popular diets to see which one would be the most effective at losing weight. Now, just as a disclaimer, we did not work out whatsoever, even though it looks like we clearly work out. This is just pure diets, and we all live pretty sedentary lifestyles, at least I do.
And before, just as a disclaimer, just a warning, before we start any diets, please seek medical advice. None of us are doctors. None of us are real doctors. Doctor Pharmacy.
I got a doctorate of pharmacy.
So
Let's not
a
play that.
Pill counter. But please, any diets, please seek medical advice.
All right, so with that being said, who wants to go first?
All right, so I'll start. But before that, Dan, don't you have to wear the turkey mask from the last video?
Damn, I thought he forgot.
Just gonna have to wear this turkey for this video and the rest of the next video we have going on. So.
Oh, but like cause your chin is like moving, it looks like a giblet. You know what I'm saying? All right, so I'll start. So I did the keto diet with intermittent fasting, and for the keto diet, 75% of my calories came from fat, 20% from proteins, and 5% from carbs. For intermittent fasting, my eating window was between 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. And I generally ate about 1 to 2 large meals and snacks throughout the eating window. For the results, after 4 weeks, I've lost almost 14 pounds. I mean, that's crazy, unbelievable. That being said, it was a very hard diet, very strict, because anything that you eat normally has carbs, so you have to be very careful. My diet normally consisted of, luckily I had a smoker, so I smoked a lot of fatty meats and ate a lot of butter and used sweetener for kind of seasoning if I needed for the meats. For the first week was really, really tough. I experienced that keto flu symptoms that people discussed. But after the first week, actually wasn't too bad. And then the 2 big tips that I'd say that helped me the most was ketone test strips. Those are really cheap on Amazon or wherever you want to buy it. It just helps me with my daily ketone checks or levels. And the second was MCT oil. I was literally drinking 1 to 2 tablespoons of MCT oils daily to hit my daily fat goals. So again, very, very successful in terms of diet, but very strict. You can't pretty much have anything that you normally have, and you have to actually enjoy cooking so you can eat the foods that you like. So. All right, so my diet was the calorie counting diet. You want to back up a little bit? 80% of the reason I chose that diet was almost solely based on the fact that I love rice. Let me try to explain what that means. When I thought about other diets like, Young's, 14-pound loss keto diet or whatever, those kind of diets restrict what you can and what you cannot eat, right? But the good thing about the calorie diet was that it only restricted how much you could eat. So let me try to put it in more practical terms for myself. So, based on my, BMR, which is basal metabolic rate, hopefully that's what BMR.
Oh,
it just means
Dr. Dave.
It just means
Dr. Dave, man.
Tell me more.
it just means, how much calories you're burning if you woke up and you literally did nothing. Like, it's the minimum amount of calories that is needed to keep you alive. Don't quote me on that. So my daily calorie allowance was around 1,200 calories. For me to lose 1 pound a week, and I needed to do that 5 times a week. So for me, I really like the calorie counting diet because I could budget it. I would eat about 2 meals per day, just based on knowing how my lifestyle is. I don't really eat breakfast, so I would budget all my calories into those 2 meals. So a cup of rice would be around 200 calories, which means that I have about 400 calories to play with. So I would choose a really lean, beef, which for 6 ounces would be like 220 calories. That's 420 calories. And then for me to get full, I would just eat a lot of like vegetables that I would microwave literally with like Lori seasoning because it had 0 calories. But for me, I love this diet because I choose what works for me. At the end of the day, rice is life, you know what I'm saying? Based on that, that's 470 calories, right? So I still have 130 calories to play with. Where am I putting that? I'm putting that into rice. So that's about half a cup of rice more I can add to my entree, right? So that at the end of that meal, I would feel, I would still feel a little hungry, but I would feel satisfied because I'm eating what I want to eat, And for instance, I'm a rapper, Cut this part out, cut this part out. For me, after I got sick of the same thing I was eating, let's say I wanted to eat barbecue or pizza or something, I would just calculate how much calories is in a slice of pizza.
Have a slice of pizza.
Yeah, but at least I would eat pizza.
You got that pizza.
The way you make that work is you take huge bites and swallow without chewing. That makes you feel incredibly full, and it makes you get the flavor of pizza. You know what I'm saying?
It's about pizza dry.
Right. It's about playing the game. Don't let the game play you. You know what I'm saying? It's all mental. You feel like you had a whole slice of pizza or whatever. You know? It could be real thin crust. So my results weren't crazy like Young's. I lost about 3.5 pounds over a 4-week span, but I never felt like I was dieting. So if you're like me and you need that kind of person, then calorie count beats keto in my book.
So I have a quick question about yours.
Whose?
You got.
Yeah,
I can't see your eyes.
Yeah.
How annoying was it to count the calories?
It wasn't annoying for me because I found dishes that I liked and I stuck to it. So I had like a 5-dish rotation I liked. And a lot of it was from Costco, which helped me save money. Oh. But
Costco sponsor us.
please. Eating out's hard because you don't know.
Yeah.
I think eating out is hard no matter what diet.
Yeah.
Honestly.
That's true, that's true. Those days, I would probably eat like a super light lunch, like a salad or something, and then just eat whatever I want for dinner. And hopefully I don't eat over an 1,800 calorie dinner. So that's the way.
You just gotta hope.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did it. Definitely eat more than 18.
So my diet was a Mediterranean diet, also called AKA what? Pescatarian? Vegetarian. You did it with intermittent fasting. So Mediterranean diet focuses on whole foods, it's like fruits, vegetables, nuts, herbs, seafood, whole grains, but then you limit moderate dairies, eggs, and milk, chicken, and then you avoid red meat. So it's like reducing the unhealthy fats and you replace it with healthy fats like EVO, like my girl Rachel Ray says, tons and tons of EVO.
What's an EVO?
Come on, man. Extra virgin olive oil. Tons and tons of extra virgin
Does
olive
anyone
oil.
else do that?
I was like, my man over here knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, you knew what it was?
No, I was just like, yo, play it cool. Play it cool. I was like, isn't Evo a producer? Isn't that Drake's producer or something?
No, so, all the Food Network people, you guys, whoever watched it, they know. Rachel Ray, EVO. So tons of, you only eat olive oil. So in your salad, in your fish, drink it like MCT oil, whatever it is, you just gotta drink lots of olive oil. I started the diet because I thought, it's pretty, just some rules I gotta follow, and I love fish. So I was thinking sushi every day until I saw the price tag. So I had sushi one whole month. Then I just had fish, and veggies. It's terrible. I love rice like this guy. I like pasta, but you can't have white grains, so you gotta have whole grains. So I was thinking, it can't be that different. It was very different. Whole grains suck. Brown rice sucks.
Can you eat white rice for Mediterranean?
Yeah, no, you can't have white grains.
I
It's
see.
all about whole grains. You can't have any added sugars, no refined sugars, so no soda. So I thought it was good because it's I limited my sugars.
Yeah.
And it's all about the heart health, right? The healthy fats. I'm trying to work on my cardiovascular health. My doctor says I gotta lose a little bit of weight, so I thought perfect.
So change doctors.
Get the one that
Dr. Dave. I just gotta go to Dr. Dave.
Everything's a go. Everything's a go.
First week wasn't too bad. I was all excited, new diet. So I started cooking every day. That lasted 5 days. And then I started looking for microwavables. I lost a decent amount of weight the first week. I lost 6 pounds the first week. I plateaued, and then I was the last week, I was like, okay, let's just get let's get it together. So I lost another 3 pounds. So I lost a total of 9 pounds. I felt cleaner. I felt like, the whole grains was helping my bowel movement. The fibers in whole grains, it's real. Clean. I feel like I can have a colonoscopy and it will be great. But yeah, so body feels okay. Mentally is a little damaging, but yeah.
Let me erase this.
Do you need?
So
do you
y'all
want me to
can hear
raise
me better. All right, now I
Yeah,
can't
hold
really
it.
see, but hopefully you guys can hear me better. So I did what I'm
Sorry, I can't look at you. I'm just gonna look at the camera.
I did what I'm calling the accessible paleo diet, and I'll get to the accessible part in a minute. But paleo, the principle behind paleo is that you can only eat foods that they ate back in like the Paleolithic era. So we're talking about like lean meats, we're talking nuts, seeds, fruits, vegetables, that kind of stuff. And you cannot eat things like processed meats. You can't eat things like dairy or grain and legumes, right? And the principle behind this is that our bodies haven't adapted fully to foods that became commonplace after farming became a thing. So because of that, that's why we're all getting fat. Now I'm calling it accessible paleo because to keep it as attainable, as accessible, as easy as possible, because I knew that otherwise the diet wouldn't be sustainable for me. So that's why I'm calling it accessible. So I did 3 things to keep it accessible. One is paleo, there's a lot of like people who say you can do this, a lot of people who say you can't do that. So there's a lot of back and forth. So to keep it as easy as possible, I just used one website for the majority of my recipes, and that was paleoleap.com.
It was his website.
He made it.
Website
He made it
definitely
right
fake.
These guys are convinced that I created the website.
Website
Because they're like, yo,
definitely
this is
fake.
not a diet food. The second thing I did is that I had a cheat meal once a week just to keep me sane. And then the third thing is I feel like calorie counting is a pain, and if I had to do that, it would drive me nuts. So instead, I just set a general principle, like I can only have 1 helping per meal, and it's like what I thought a healthy adult should eat. Now, just as some context, I'm probably the unhealthiest guy here. I don't get a lot of sleep. I eat late at night, and I live a very sedentary lifestyle. So I didn't change up my lifestyle whatsoever. So this is just pure diet. Week 1 was definitely the hardest. I was just tired. I had no energy because I think the amount of calories that I was intaking is like exponentially lower than what I was used to. These guys know we're in a group chat together, and I was just whining like crazy the first week. That first week, my wife was in the mood, so to speak. And when you've got 2 young kids, you don't say no to that kind of thing. But man, I was just so tired and just so weak.
This channel just became rated R. Just FYI, guys.
We apologize.
But I think it paid off because the first week I lost about 5 pounds. So I started at 180, I came down about 5 pounds. And so week 2, just mentally, it was a lot better for me because I just done a cheat meal that Sunday. So I was going into the week with the food that I enjoyed. Just seeing the weight loss put me in a better place physically and mentally especially. So week 2 was pretty good. At that time, I had figured out the recipes I really liked, and I lost about, I think, another like 2 pounds, and that's kind of when I plateaued. And then for week 3 and 4 combined, I think I lost a total of 1.5 pounds, leaving me with a total weight loss of about 8.5 pounds.
Oh.
So that was kind of it. And just some lessons learned, some things that I learned was that 1, Paleoleap sucks as a website. Like the foods look amazing, but everything is just so bland. And just for those of you guys who cook, like I cook, so I know things like I know herb seasonings that are just gonna be richer in flavor. Like I like cumin, ground coriander, smoked paprika. Like use those things, and it'll really help with the food choices or the foods that you make. And the second lesson learned is be kind to yourself. The reason why I did accessible again was because I could see myself after having done it and after having put in these accommodations. I knew that like when I was done, these guys were all looking forward to the foods that they couldn't eat, and I was just kind of like, I miss pasta, I miss rice for sure, but I don't know, something about like I feel like I could keep going with it. So yeah, that's mine.
Be
So
kind
that's
to
accessible
yourself.
paleo.
Accessible.
In summary, the keto diet, you can lose a lot of weight, but you have to be super disciplined in terms of how many carbs you can eat and how much fat you need to eat. But there's no restriction on how much you can eat. So I ate a lot of food, so if you're with that, then go with that.
Mediterranean's pros are
Salads, fresh fruits.
the
Stuff that you can eat is not really restricted. It's just you
can't
can't
have red meat.
you can't have the dairy, milk, eggs, but
You can have red
red wine. So if
If
you
you love wine, Mediterranean is great.
Calorie counting is for you if you like budgeting and you want to eat whatever you want. Downsides are you have to be really disciplined in how much you eat, and the weight loss is going to be gradual.
Paleo's for you. Paleo's for you if you like meat, because you can eat almost every meat. There's no real restriction on meat as long as it's not processed. The downside is that you don't get to eat carbs. So that stinks when your entire family's eating like amazing roasted potatoes with butter. And meanwhile, you're stuck with, zucchini straws. So So now that we finished our diet challenge, now we're gonna try our next challenge where we binge out and basically undo everything we did.
Circle of life, baby.
Let's go, guys.